Mercedes, and we're going to talk about sex of flowers. How are you today, Mercedes?
I can't wait to get into this segment.
It's quite complicated though, really.
Bisexual cut flowers.
Oh.
The hermaphrodites of the cut flower kingdom.
Okay. Well, I think we should start. I think we should start off by talking about what bisexual is, because there's unisexual, and some people might think hermaphrodite. What's that? But that's actually bisexual.
It is.
So, starting off, bisexual flowers have male and female reproducing organs on that flower, on the same flower. So, for example, this azalea flower in the studio, there's a bit that's sticking out. That's the stigma.
Yes.
So the stigma has to have pollen attached to the top of it, which then travels down to the centre, and it will grow a seed. Around the stigma at the bottom are the stamens, which contain the pollen, and the bee has to go into there and collect the pollen, or the bee or whatever insect, it doesn't really matter, and then fly past and hopefully attach some pollen to that outer bit there as well. So that's a bisexual flower. And in the cut flower industry, you've got a lot of bisexual flowers.
We do. I mean, I've brought the list with me this evening, and we're going to go through the list. Blossoms. So Miss Sweet Pea is a bisexual cut flower. Mr. Daffodil is another. Mr. Tulip, Miss Carnation, and I've brought her with me today, and I've left her with hairy legs because I also want to demonstrate the removal of the hairy legs. A bit like mine at the moment. Actually, I shaved mine today before I came into the studio, just for the cameras. Blossoms. So I'm removing now the foliage, as you can see there, and no more hairy legs. And then that is inviting to go into a vase full of water. How gorgeous is that colour? And it's also edible. Miss Carnation.
Oh, the petals are edible.
Yeah, edible. So how do we eat the carnation? I mean, you don't just take the whole head off and you put that into your mouth. You don't. You just pluck the petals off, and as you can see there in my hand, that is now ready to put into your salad or even your cereal, which I did on the weekend because I was doing an audition with cereal and cut flowers, and I mixed the two together, and it was yum.
That looks. And they're a nice colour too.
They are indeed. They go with my red lipstick. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. and the other red flower in your hair.
Yeah.
Now, I thought I might, before you go on with the list, I thought I might mention that there's also things called unisexual flowers. So those flowers have either male only or female only reproducing parts on the flower. So one thing that springs to mind, which a lot of people have problems with, is male and female flowers on pumpkins, watermelons, cucumbers, zucchinis, that kind of thing, because they have to wait. Well, quite often the pumpkin comes out, the pumpkin vine grows, but the flower comes out and it's only male. It has to wait for the female to come along. So then the bee has to visit the male flower and travel over to the female flower before a pumpkin will grow.
I feel sorry for the bee. Constantly on the go.
Oh, well, they're busy bees.
Well, I think the bisexual cut flowers have done the bee a favour. It's like, you know what, buddy? You can have a day off.
But there's other things about unisexual flowers I should mention, is that some plants have only male flowers, and they might have only female flowers. For example, a lot of the plants in the fruit family, for example, almonds.
Oh, I love almonds.
Yeah, but almond trees, you would need two to actually get the almonds, because you need a male almond tree and a female almond tree.
Side by side?
Side by side.
Right, okay.
At least in someone, maybe in your next door neighbour's yard, or at least close enough for the bees to travel from one to the other.
Now, unlike humans, if you want to know the difference between a baby that's a boy and a baby that's a girl, you just take their nappy off. I mean, how do you know the difference between a male? Do you need to get in there with your microscope?
I don't know. I'm not quite sure about that one.
That's all right. I'm just being cheeky. But let's go on with the list. Miss Sunflower, Miss Rose, Mr. Gladioli, Mr. Tiger Lily, Miss Delphinium, Mr. Alstroemeria, Miss Baby's Breath, Miss Gardenia, Miss Hibiscus, Miss Larkspur, Miss Dandelion, Miss Passion Flower, Miss African Violet. We're almost there. I'm starting to lose my voice. Mr. Water Lily, Miss Hydrangea, Mr. Cattleya Orchid, Cymbidium Orchid, Dendrobium Orchid, and finally Mr. Oncidium Orchid, which is the dancing lady. that whole list is bisexual.
How good is that? And did you know, even though it's not a cut flower, because I know you're focusing on cut flowers, but tomato flower is bisexual.
I heard, and so is mango.
Yeah.
I love tomatoes.
So that means you don't actually need the bees around for the tomato plants to grow. So that's really even good. But if you want bees, peas and beans, then you certainly need pollinators around.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you for sharing, especially about the unisex. Yes. I wasn't very strong in knowledge there, but definitely when it comes to bisexual and hermaphrodite cut flowers, that's where my specialty
you're up there.
Is.
That's just
absolutely peace.
Yeah, well, that's really interesting. So in the cut flower trade, I guess the bisexual flowers feature the most, to be honest, because they have so much in them, really.
Yeah, and what a great year to be celebrating bisexual cut flowers. It's legal now to get married.
Yes. Get married, yes, indeed.
To whoever you love. So I'd like to think that cut flowers stand for love, and salute to love. Let's bring our beautiful cut flower, Miss Carnation, and bury it into your nose.
Exactly. So that one has plenty of perfume.
Where it belongs.
Yes, where it belongs. Well, once again, Mercedes, thanks for coming in and talking.
Always a pleasure.